Cinnamon Cooney, the Art Sherpa. On the mic today is my husband, John.
Hey, guys.
He is running the very complicated multicast live cast going on right now. Today I'm going to show you how to paint the very first. This is the premiere in a series of paintings I'm doing, the Hero series. This is going to be about the first responders and heroes in our life that work very hard to make our life better. And since we have up the street an amazing local hero, Clint, he's the fire chief here in Humble. I started out with fire, and I'm so glad I did because so many of you have firefighters and firemen in your lives or have been first responder firefighters. And so I created this for you. This is this wonderful figure. He's maybe in a little more action.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of action. I put the number plate up here for you so you could customize this to your family members. And for those of you that are not first responders and have firefighters in your life, the firefighter in your life will be happy because he's got a safety faceplate on, and there would be room there for his breathing apparatus because you know that our rescuers like that stuff to be accurate, and he's in the middle of running out of a fire, saving a life, which is really what that job is about. And we're doing this on a 9x12 canvas today in acrylic paint. I'm going to show you everything. There's a traceable. You can see it up here. So there's that nice no draw out option since this is such a complex silhouette. And it's on a 9x12. So if you have a little brush in your life, it's going to be really easy for them to paint along. Because I know we got a lot of little brushes today that are going to be painting this along. So there's customization options. You know, everything that you can want. I'm really hoping that when you guys give these to the firefighters in your lives, that they feel that love and recognition that we all have for them. I have my 9x12 canvas here. I'd like to point out that Clint donated some very important vintage. He has a firefighters museum in the area and vintage fire trucks. And this hat for firefighters is a huge deal.
Yeah, that's a vintage leather fireman's hat from Crosby, or one of the local fireman fire brigades out here. And then behind you is one of his fire buckets and his axe. You have to step to your left. Yeah. There you go. So there's a fire bucket and the axe. And what's really interesting is that fire bucket is actually got a rounded bottom on it.
Which is why we have a bunch of towels underneath it.
and which way it tells them. And the reason is because, fire buckets are for holding water and only really should hold water. And so when they're not holding water, you don't want them to kind of walk off with...
You took my safety towel, speaking of things that walked off.
So they made them with rounded bottoms so that people don't use them for other things. And I thought that was pretty clever. So anyway.
Already we've had wishes come in.
Oh, so many good wishes.
So many wishes and so many thoughts. And so I put some on canvas already. You're welcome to include some more before we paint over. There's very simple materials in this. We're going to go over them at the beginning, and of course they're in the descriptions, so you know what you need, and it's just a very simple palette. But right now, our own Ann Keel, she has a whole family of first responders. They're all heroes, and her boy Joseph actually has a commendation for a rescue nearly like this.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Amanda's dad is retiring today after 42 years of service. Right?
Wow.
And then,
thank you for that service.
Yeah. Thank you for those 42 years of service. Flame's husband's dad, Dan's dad, Mike, is the fire chief in their local area, and his grandfather gave his life in the line of duty. And also, we just want to say thank you to Clint. He came by and verified the design and everything. It was like, yes, this is code fire safety. So
yeah,
we knew all you painters would be set up at home feeling really good about what you were given, because I know this is going to be an important painting for you to do. Do we have any wishes we'd like to add?
Oh, I'm just going through here right now. We have so many chats going today. Twitch, everybody over there is loving seeing us
Facebook,
there.
hi Twitch.
And on our website, of course, everyone says hello. This is our first live show, so they're happy to find us. So hi Patricia, it's nice to see you over there. And Kathy says a wish for her daughter to come home.
Kathy, let's put a wish for your daughter to come home. Definitely, guys, we're going to continue this on. We're going to include a lot of different first responders and hero jobs into this.
And we're going to, for Pooh Bear, his dad, or her dad, just got good luck in his garage. He had a real bad burn there. So I'm going to send a wish out there.
And I just today want to wish every single first responder safety, because those are all dangerous jobs.
And a wish from Marianne, for her sister Peggy, who's struggling with anxiety.
Oh, let's put a wish for Peggy to feel better.
And let's put a wish in there for Betty, because she needs some prayers and some wishes. She's a new diabetic and having some really hard time adjusting and finding some peace there. So, to all the people out there who are having issues there.
All right. Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to start out. Now I'm going to be using white gesso and black gesso. I like using that because it gives me a little bit of tooth. I like the texture that it gives me, but you could just use white and black paint if you don't have both of those. Though, for this type of background, it is very economical, and if you look in the description, everything I'm using today, including the charcoal pencil that I use to make the traceable, is linked there, so you can find those things super easily. So I'm putting out a little black gesso and a little white gesso. I've got a 2-inch stiff nylon brush. This is inexpensive. And I love these because they're very high performing. And I'm going to mix out gray as my background. Just like that. You can see it's just on the edge of the brush. It's not overly mixed. And I'm just going to, in an up and down fashion, paint this whole background, this mid-tone gray.
And there's so many wishes that are coming in from everyone. Thank you guys. I know that there's a little delay here on things, and we try to catch all those in there. But I know that our other light keepers and our Sherpettes, they will all capture those and put them in their canvases.
I think we're going to start putting an area on our website too.
Yeah,
to start capturing these wishes, so that if you've got something important going on and you'd really like to see that on a live canvas. And those don't get lost to the Facebook feeds or the Twitter feeds or the YouTube comment stream. And
Eileen, I think. I want to put this general wish goes into, as we're putting this in here, we want to put a wish for the safety of all firefighters who are out there, and Christy. For your husband who needs the extra love, we're there for you. We want to get all of those in there.
All right, those two made it in.
Oh, good. I was reading. I didn't even realize you got those in there.
No, man, right before I painted the last of the canvas.
There's so many wishes, but mostly as we're putting this in there, I think that one of the important things is that we all think about that the firefighters, and first responders. But today we're really thinking about those firefighters. They run into the fire when we run away.
It's amazing.
Every day, these are the people who put their lives on the line for us without thought for themselves. I mean, in the direct line of danger, as a soldier would, these guys are moving into areas where they know they are in danger. And not a little danger. I mean, a lot. When you look at the equipment that these guys and gals put on to protect themselves, it really puts into perspective what they do here.
It really does, having done this research, John.
Yeah. Because
I went through the trouble of looking to actual photographs from post events, which is really tough, to get a sense of what they deal with. And I have to tell you, I did a little crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are at the place that I can't imagine the burdens that they carry.
Firefighters are among the bravest people I know. I mean, you put them right up there with the policemen and the soldiers who put their lives on the line with guns and dangerous situations. These people, these amazing superheroes, these firemen, they go into buildings that are on fire, falling down, collapsing around them, to come get us.
I do. I really do.
Sorry.
You go with that, because that's really true. We're going to be just about an hour today, but look, we're going to take some time celebrating the heroes in our life, because this painting is not just for our canvas, it's for our heart. I'm going to dry my background real quick, and then I'm going to start painting my fire on top of it.
All right. So thank you guys for all showing up. It's, we're here celebrating our heroes today. We appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us. This is just the time to take and remember to say thank you to those who serve in your life. The firemen and firewomen and first responders. When next time you see them, go give them a hug and thank them for what they do. So what are you going to get there? What do you have over there, Sherpa?
I'm going to get myself, quality bright.
A bright?
I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to put out my paint. I have today on my palette, if you guys read down into the description or noticed one of the posts, I always try to share those materials.
Yeah, scoot that over a little bit. We got to make
this
sure.
Way?
There you go. Perfect.
Okay. Cad yellow medium. And in this case, because I'm painting fire, I'm going to use real Cad, guys. Cad red light. And the reason I do that is the vibrancy of this pigment is like none other, and it glows in lower light. Not glows like a glow light, not like glow paint, but it has an effect to the eye that's really like none other. And that's why people like Kincaid and Bob Ross used to use it. And even though I have a little gesso out, I have some titanium white here for later.
Yep.
Because this won't be quite as bright as, this will be brighter than my gesso.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got my really awesome, this is a bright number 6. I have a synthetic firm filament with a beautiful edge here. And that's what you're really looking for your brushes. You don't want this to be soft, like you'd be like, oh, I'm going to use this with makeup. I'm going to prime this by getting it a titch wet. And I'm going to come and I'm going to start out with, I might even add, interestingly enough, just the smidge of the black gesso to it, just to dim it a little bit. And I'm going to start putting in my flames. Okay. So you can see the lid on my brush. I'm going to come on the edge of this, and I'm going to make a stroke that meanders and tapers off. And how I get those strokes is I'm pressing hard at the beginning, right? And then as I finish the stroke, I lighten up. And because my brush is very sharp and well designed, it will give me a nice light line. And I'm going to do some, here's like another little arabesque line. And I'm going to do some of these little furtive sketchy lines. Can you see these?
Oh, yeah.
This is all about working the ends of the brush. And what I'm doing is I'm creating a raging fire back here.
Okay.
This is intense. And I looked, again, at a lot of pictures. We almost got a fire tornado. I almost went a little crazy. He's coming through a fire tornado! Just because one picture really, really caught my imagination. And I'm going to be blowing the fire a little bit to the right.
Now, is that a crimson red?
This is the Naphthol red medium. Did I forget to mention that?
I think you did.
Okay,
right,
so Cad yellow light,
yeah.
Cad yellow medium.
Cad yellow medium.
Cad red light.
Cad red light.
Naphthol red medium.
Naphthol red medium. Now, could you
black gesso, white gesso, but you could use titanium white and Mars black here just as easily.
On that Naphthol red you have there?
Yeah.
Could you use a different red?
Yeah, any crimson, guys. Any cool red. So see how this feels like an orange?
Yeah.
This feels like a deep red like blood. You just want a red that makes you think of blood.
Okay.
That's what we're looking for, is the two kind of values of red.
And adding that gray sort of ombre background was important to add that contrast layer, right?
It gives us contrast, and also it tells us this is a fire, because oftentimes at night in a raging fire, there's this sort of wall of grayness. And I was like, how can I talk about the smoke? This sort of sheer smoke space that can end up coming up, because that's as dangerous as the fire.
No, and
I'm just tapering. As I come up, I'm opening it up where it's, starting to lose its energy and its momentum.
No, we'll put the materials list in the description below.
It is in the material description.
Okay.
It is. It's already there.
And if it's not, then on whatever platform you're looking at, we'll make sure that it is.
Oh, because Facebook and Twitch, does Twitch not have it?
They may not have those there.
Okay.
So we'll make sure that we get them up there.
Yeah. If ever you need guidance to some feature, some free service we have, like the traceable or the reference picture, because we don't just have picture-in-picture like on Pinterest. I try to always pin the full paintings so you can look at what we were thinking.
Ah.
Right? So you can look at that. I really like doing fire. I'm kind of keen to do a forest fire at some point, just because even though it's very destructive, it's quite beautiful to paint. It just is, guys.
Yeah.
Just as beautiful to paint. Don't want to be in one.
No.
No.
Now there's a couple of retired firefighters here with us. Jana.
Hi, Jana. I know Erlinda did some firefighting.
Mm-hmm.
And she was an EMT too. Who else was a firefighter?
Oh, I'll have to keep. There's so many here. So many people here. And, so I'll have to take a quick look here. Oh gosh. Let's see here. Take a special person, a friend at a volunteer firefighter university, or husband. Oh, hi, Janine. Hi.
Hi, Janine.
How you doing? And Cindy was a firefighter for 16 years.
Thank you, Cindy.
Wow, gosh, I'm sorry. I should have
One of the things I liked about this design is that there was a gender neutrality to it, because, you know, we have men and women that are on, you know, volunteering.
Jenny, my son's best friend, just got a temp job at our local fire department. So this is a gift for him.
Oh, he's going to really love it. He'll love that this fire helmet was right there. You know, I was trying to figure out, like, when I was first doing this, like, even what number to use on the helmet. And, you know, had found the 43. But we'll have to decide as a community what's the number that should go on his helmet at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because you guys will be putting the numbers or information on the front plate here that are important to you and speak to your lives. Right? But we should have a community number as well.
Yeah, I think that there was a flaw on the YouTube feed somehow because its description isn't there.
What?
So, yeah, for some reason, the YouTube description's missing.
So that's what happened.
That's what
okay,
happened.
guys, we will make sure that description gets right back in there.
Yep.
If you're
right after
coming on
show.
the replay, you're good. Just look in the description. If you're here during the live, white gesso, black gesso, cad yellow, medium, cad red light, naphthol crimson. But you just want a good yellow, an orange red, and a cool red. Don't have to be... One of the nice things about a silhouette... And not all the hero paintings will be silhouettes. But one of the nice things about a silhouette is that it can sometimes be anybody, and it does allow you to be a little playful with the color. So I've got my cool basis in. We've talked a lot about fire on the channel. Fire quests and painted fireplaces and painted candles and dragons that breathe fire.
Yep.
So we've really covered this fire topic a lot. I'm rinsing out my brush a little bit. And one of the things is that it's brighter where it's hottest and it's redder where it's coolest. So this is our first layer. We're painting our cool first layer.
Ooh, Libby was a 911 dispatcher for 10 years.
Dude.
Thank you, Libby. That's awesome.
I'm taking some just cad red here and laying it in the flames. Can you guys see how I'm not painting on all my red? This is almost an abstract in how I'm doing this.
Alice's her son has been a volunteer firefighter for the past 10 years.
Oh, thank your son, Alice. Thank you, thank you.
And Danielle worked as a assisted call firefighter during the wildfires in Humboldt County. So thank you for
dude, those
that.
were serious. I knew somebody, Alan Paez, that did that too, I believe. That's where he was. He specializes in, like, the forest fire, which is a specialty kind of fire.
Ooh, Veronica says that we should put heroes on that emblem.
Okay. I like that vote.
Yeah.
I like that vote.
Yeah,
I've been excited about doing these for a long time. Doing these different characters. Flame helped us, like, coalesce it into, like, dude, that's a whole collection. Because I'm like, we need to paint a soldier, and we need to paint an astronaut, and I want to paint, like, just different positions and people that make the world a better place.
Wow.
So I'm just doing this, like, kind of like bright orange layer.
Judy's said that I'm trying to adjust that focus here a little bit there. Judy said that her grandfather her great grandfather was a firefighter and died fighting fires. So, thank you to those, who've
Giving their
fallen.
lives,
Yeah.
saving others. That's amazing. Think about how selfish the world can be these days sometimes.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then you think about people who dedicate to helping others, and it's just so inspiring.
Yeah, it's amazing when you end up meeting a lot of these firefighters in real life. They think about other people all the time. I mean, it's just in their makeup.
When we're painting this and we're thinking about them, be sure and leave a lot of this cool fire open. Notice how I'm not painting out all my red. I'm just doing flowing little strokes, and I'm following the flame direction I put in there. And just know it can be pretty rough and still come out really fantastic. You know, just don't paint out all your work where you're putting in your red flames, because you want that variance in tone. I'm going to take this orange over to my yellow. And it was not orange, this Cad Red Light over to my Cad Yellow. And that's going to give me an orange. And I'm going to work some of this lighter color into these flames. How's that looking? Make sure they're seeing all of it. That's awesome, because we want them to see all of it. So now we're going to start heating up the flame in some places, saying that the fuel source is higher. That's a lot of what we want to do here, is just say, okay, in some places this fuel source is higher, that this fire is hotter, right? And so you'd want to definitely focus that in the center of an area that was burning. It wouldn't be to the outside edge. You guys seeing it okay?
Yeah, I'm trying to adjust the camera so we can really see the differences in that dynamic range, but it's I'm having a little trouble. Let me go over and adjust that camera again.
I'm just painting the bit of this brighter orange in that fire. I'm going to focus the brightest part of my fire up front here, but I'm going to have it be a little bit lower, so that would be the path that he's identified to get out. Or she's identified, because we don't know.
There we go. Now I got it.
You make the gender of your first responder. What fits your life reflects your story. Right? I'm just making sure that I'm heating up some areas of this by brightening it up. If you did the full fireplace with me, you're like, this is like that again. Another place to use that skill. I'm going to rinse out this brush and put it to the side. Be sure to rinse out your brushes between, you know, using them. I'm going to draw this, and I'm going to show you. Well, first, actually, I'm going to take a sippy.
Sippy.
And then I'm going to show you how to get this really gorgeous silhouette. And just so you know, it took 12 drawings to get here. Tons of references, because I kept saying, would the hose show? What would show? And I would have to find different references of photographs and be like, what could we see if this was backlit and we were running, and, you know. So this is an interesting thing. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm going to draw this real quick.
You're going to draw that in?
Dry.
So dry.
And then draw.
I'll turn her down for that. So I'll say thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. There were some questions on whether or not we would have this up in the shop afterwards, and we'll probably do a mug and a T-shirt for those, for all you guys who would like to see that in there. We'll probably do a bunch of stuff around our first responders and heroes collection. You know, just sort of moving forward. This is something that we really like. You know, this kind of stuff, and it would be cool as a mug. So we'll turn it into a mug. And I just want to say thank you guys. We're having a great time out here. We got all the platforms going in all the places, and don't forget to go out to TheArtSherpa.com and check out. We've got a bunch of shirts and stuff out there. They're just reminding me I'm so bad at this. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna do something here. I'm going to put up real quick while she's. Oh, check that out. So there is there's the shirt from
collector item.
There's the shirt from the last one. That's Kevin and the mermaid. And I was just kind of telling them about the shop and stuff.
That's my mug.
Oh, there. Oh,
I finally have some more of my own mugs.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. So and
I gotta get my own 100K mug with "Follow Your Dreams." Eagle of Judgment says, "Do art."
But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share.
There's 300 other paintings you could do. If this is not your jam today, there's another one, and we go through and we explain every step of the process so you can paint along at home with your paint, with your stuff in your house, with your delightful beverage and yummy snack.
And if you go out to TheArtSherpa.com, you can find this and all of the other cool things that we
have. We been Sherpa today yet?
Oh yes, we've been way Sherpa today. I mean, like, we're in Sherpa in like many places today.
Are we Sherpa whenever we're 300? We're Sherpa. I'm supposed to dance, but I think I forgot.
I think what it is that I've been managing the multi-platforms.
It's a lot to be everywhere. To be everywhere, art to everyone for free.
So I tell you what we're going to do. As soon as you get him sketched in, then we'll do a little dancing.
Okay.
I'll kick some dancing music on, and then we'll get him painted in.
So you'll see on the back that there's this sort of white smearing. And what this is I have these white charcoal pencils. Okay? I get these. There's in the description, there's a link to these. And then you can also find these at Michael's. They're not like particularly expensive. You just do a little, you color the back of your drawing. Whatever you're trying to transfer, you just create this little impression. I like to tape once I get my positioning down, and I actually position him slightly offside because I really, really, really wanted the fire to be focused over here to the right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace over this traceable with a colored pencil, so I know where I am. You could use a jelly pen, just anything, right? So let's get the face mask in there. And if you're going to do the white line to show, like where you've got it, be sure and give yourself a little guide. You might not need it. A little shoulder here. And then we'll put the child in. I'm going to just very carefully trace around these lines that I did. So he or she was not easy to, I say he because all of my references for this were, just happened to be men. Could be anybody. Just really running. This equipment is really interesting because it's very heavy. Like, it's very heavy. Like these pans, very heavy pants with these little reflectors on them. It's sort of interesting. So we've got the boot here. I'm going to pull the heel out, right? I'm going to arch the foot because this would be arched and foreshortened. Arch to the front of the foot, and then the toe is planted firmly here to step off the steps. The toe is facing forward. Then because he's in an action run, this is actually where the leg is bent. This is the knee. And the foot is back here, so we'd only see partial of that. So there's where his foot is.
Sorry.
And you kind of see the pants. Pants are really big and bulky. Jacket's very big and bulky. Now, one of the things that I have to do, when I first did this, I actually kept drawing the child's feet. I fixed it on y'all's traceable, but I have to fix it on mine right now, as 2 left feet. And that's a thing that happens to artists. Don't worry, your traceable has been corrected. I'm just using the original here. And so it hasn't. And that's just something that can happen. You can be drawing, you're like, I know something's weird. I know something's wonky. I'm not sure what it is. And then later you're like, oh, it's 2 left feet. So,
sorry.
Front plate here. You might just paint that back in later. And when I pull this away, you'll see that this is left that white impression of my image, and I can go back. You've given me quite a challenge with this helmet, darling. It's beautiful though. No, leave it. It's pretty. I'll struggle for pretty. And also, I feel like, it kind of creates this sort of energy or spirit. So I'm gonna just anywhere I want to sort of reinforce my lines. This is a good time to do that if you need to. And you'll find the charcoal pencils sketch over the acrylic the easiest. Even over the watercolors or the charcoals will work. Once I have that laid out and I'm happy with where my silhouette is, I'm going to get a fairly small detail. This is like a number 2.
Yeah.
Might even have gone number 1. And get the outline of him in. And I'm just going to use my black gesso. One of the things that I really like about black gesso is that it's pretty fluid. And it paints on flat and easy, even though that this is Mars Black in color. Its pigment is actually Mars Black gesso. I'm going to make the little ridge that's up here. I don't know if you can see it on... This is a vintage one, but the ridges were prominent on all the helmets that I was looking at the top. Because there's several layers that happen there.
Oh, yeah.
There's this over helmet, and then there's this faceplate, and then if they're in real serious stuff, there's actually breathing mask. And then there's several layers in this over equipment. So, they're not just coming in and rescuing. I mean, they're like really, they're not running in, sweats.
No. No, they bring the gear, man. Those trucks.
They have to, because this person, right, is not conscious. So to rescue them, the rescuer has to remain conscious and able to see. I think there's some engineering on the front plates too that keep it from fogging or allow them visibility longer too.
Yeah.
In unideal conditions, which I thought was really interesting. Like it doesn't fog up, you know what I'm saying? Like my snorkel mask would fog up, so you wouldn't want to use a snorkel mask
Yeah.
going in anywhere. So this is what you're going to do. You're just going to paint this all in your solid black. And just try to follow your lines as carefully as you can. A good bright or good detail brush will make this much easier work. I actually go back with a white line on this to create kind of a halo highlight. And so I'm not that concerned if some of my chalk is still peeking out. But I could always get rid of it if I didn't like it when everything was super dry and cured with like a damp cloth.
Ah.
Oh, I gotta go see my eye doctor. What? I do. Vision's changing. Gotta do something about it.
So what size canvas are you using here?
Just a 9x12, and the reason I picked a 9x12 for this particular one instead of even 11x14 is I knew that there were so many new painters and little brush painters that would want to paint along.
Oh yeah, this is a really doable size for any painter.
Yeah, it just makes easy work of it. I'm gonna drop a little eyelash out here
Oh yeah.
because I like that. You don't have to do that. That can be more challenging, and if you find certain things more challenging, that might be a harder one to do. I'm gonna make a little hair. If you want to have this, be longer hair, you could. I'm gonna just have this be short hair. It's gonna be my choice here.
So why are you using gesso rather than paint?
Well, I really, really like how it lays down sometimes. I could have used fluid acrylic and gotten a similar result. It's just really economical and it gives me a great result. I'm using a professional gesso, so I'm not going to have fading or anything.
And you like this because the way that it covers and the texture and the final look that it gets when you want that.
It's a little bit chalky, it's a little bit flat, and that's very nice.
And you chose that for an aesthetic result.
An aesthetic result and a financial result.
And a financial result.
And a financial result. Both aesthetics and finances. I think it's important to realize, I don't generally mix gesso white into paint because it can chalk it out. Right? And it's not as bright as titanium, but there are times it's actually great to use. And these are things that we have around. If you've been doing a lot of paintings with me, chances are you've got a little black gesso sitting with you. So this is just another great place you can use it. And I like showing people stuff that they can do. Let's arch up the foot here, showing the heel. It's coming on out of here. I really like that we can put a little fire up in front of him to really layer him into the painting. That's a fun thing for me. You could use a bigger brush to paint him in with. I just want something that gives me a lot of control because these angles are so specific to show his positioning. Even a little change can kind of alter that. And I just want to make sure, just even the fact that there's a kind of a crease in the pant leg. Where the pant legs are bulky and wrinkled. This is important to people who have to wear this gear all the time because they're like, oh yeah, it's a hot mess right there. I totally know. I did a commission once for a safety and electrical engineering company. And I have to tell you, the stuff that was important to people working in the field was real specific. And I learned a lot about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a little bit of the toe peeking out here, right? It's running hard. His lungs are pumping, heart's racing, single-minded focus. See that there? A little chalk is smeared over, but that's okay. Also, you'll notice I don't really need any water with the gesso. If I was doing a heavy body black paint, I'd be thinning it a lot with water.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting really great coverage in one coat. And for those that have needed to save money but are having trouble with their economy black paint smearing during the varnish process, this does not do that as bad.
Gotcha. So
the pro gesso is still cheaper than the student black paint.
That's interesting enough. That's interesting to note.
Yeah. That's really good. All right, I'm going to come here.
And you can kind of see up there where it's drying how it gives that nice matte finish.
I'm going to do my big toe and then some little toes. Big toe and some little toes, and then the little foot to the heel. I love little kid feet. They're very special.
T-Bear says that the Grumbacher gesso is also awesome.
I agree with that. I really, really have some gessos that I detest and I won't use. But I like the Grumbacher.
You know, the only person I know who has such strong feelings about art
Dude,
supplies.
if you open it up and saw the mold in it and the separation and the completely cheap quality, you would be like, I hate this gesso. Why'd you even make it? You make me mad. I'm not going to speak on it.
Now, this won't be matte after you varnish it, though.
No. So varnishing, really one of the wonderful side effects of varnishing is varnishing determines the overall finish and unifies everything in a painting. So you can do a couple things if you want different finishes. Like if you want the fire to be shiny and him to be flat, you would actually, at this stage, once he's all painted in, take a pause, right? And varnish this like shiny here. And varnish him flat. Do the next, after that all dries, do the next layer. And then just varnish that shiny again. And you could actually create a play between shiny, matte, shiny.
Now, I'm not sure. I think it was Jennifer here. I missed it. Was asking which brush you're using.
This is the Silver Bristlon 1902 Bright number 2.
Okay, and so any of the brushes that you see
like
here,
this is like a Ferrari, and you can get these at the Brush Guys. Yeah. They have them.
The Brush Guys. You guys know them. You guys helped us find them. Those are they ship all around the world. They've got a coupon code you could use. The TheArtSherpa or
get
TheArtSherpa.
5% off.
Yeah, 5% off, and they carry. They generally keep in stock anything that you see here on the show. They keep in stock, and we'll ship around the world to get to. And, good guys. So.
I've got my teacher's recommended list for the, other brushes that, I recommended in the past. They've got all these that you ever see on the show there. They pretty much got any brush that I could be painting with on there. And some brushes I've never heard of on their website.
There you go.
They're pretty stocked.
They are
very
pretty
interesting.
stocked.
And if it's out of stock for them, that's because it's hard to get, because they really try to keep stuff in stock.
Yeah, Jeff and Dave are good guys.
Which is what's put us on our brush quest. We're like, we're going to be in stock. That's something that's going to happen is, need to keep that in stock. So
okay. So what do you, they're going to ask, what are you switching to?
I'm switching to my number 6. This is a ruby satin.
Hold on.
Right? It's also really wonderful.
Okay.
Synthetic fibers. What they both have in common is that they're firm synthetic fiber, and that they hold a very good edge. I'm finding myself these days being partial to one over the other, but I can't tell you because I'm on a brush quest.
We're looking.
And I'm testing. The only way to really test brushes is really work with them a lot and see like where they're amazing and hold up incredibly well, and maybe where they're not amazing and don't hold up well.
Now, these are not the only brushes we're testing. We can't show you the prototype brushes because you can't go get them anywhere. So
well, I think I've actually shown some prototypes and just been like, I'm sorry, this is a prototype.
Yeah. So we're not going to show you we're not going to show you anything on the show that you couldn't go out and get right now, because that's not.
These are all gettable.
Yeah.
The prototypes are not.
Anything that we're testing that we like, we'll tell you that we like it, and as soon as we can tell you about the things that we're not showing.
A lot of companies make a good brush. You're just looking for particular things in your brush.
Yeah.
Wherever you live, wherever you are. But remember, what's circulating right now, that lady that paints with her fingers.
Oh, yeah.
And she does those cool, realistic paintings with her fingers. Don't get wrapped up. Don't get worried.
Now,
it's not a big deal.
I noticed there's some chalk showing through there on the knee.
Yep.
Is that...
Oh, there's a couple places where, and so like I said earlier, what it is, I'm white lining anyways.
Oh, okay.
So I don't mind the chalk being there, but I could take it off when this is all dry with a damp paper towel.
Okay.
But I'm actually going to use some white lining to help create some dynamic interest in the character.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Around the face and stuff like that, and help that visually read, because sometimes people will have trouble visually reading things. And white lining can help if you just do it in a small amount. So I've got my gesso here, and I've got a detail 10/0. This happens to be shader, a detail roundel work. You could do something like this. You just want something that gives you a fine point that you have a lot of control over. And I'm going to come with a super light hand, very, very light around the helmet a couple places and create like this sort of halo effect. Not outlining it like a cartoon in any way, just parts of this. Just parts of this, so that we see parts of it.
Just to give it some highlight?
Just a little bit. Like, one of the things that I wanted to do was like on the face mask here, right? That I was going to like do even like a reflection, like that there was just a little bit of light. So I'm going to take, let me dry this real quick, otherwise I'm going to smear paint.
And again, I'm going to say thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. And man, there's so many people. We got like 300 people on YouTube. And we got like 100 and something, 180 people on Facebook. And then there's like 17 people on Twitch.
Huh?
A couple people.
17 people on Twitch?
17 people on Twitch.
At Twitch.
Like 300 people on YouTube.
Thank you for
like
breaking from Bob and hanging out with us today on Twitch. And of course, hi Facebook. Love ya.
Yeah.
Love ya. How is Facebook today?
They're doing good. Everybody's doing good. That was pretty awesome about
Do you love how these just hang out on Facebook for whenever you need to watch them?
You're just stuck in the airport. There you are.
One of these places your boss hasn't blocked.
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to be streaming off the website now, too.
Mm-hmm.
So we got all sorts of new stuff. Okay, so back to the...
Back to this. So I definitely want to create just a small amount of little line down here saying there's a reflection on this plastic front plate. And then I'm going to even add a little reflection of the plastic like kind of right here. So just a little bit of light.
Off that
you don't have to do that. That made me feel better about like what I was looking at. So I just did that.
Yeah.
As an artist, I'm going to put my number plate up here, or a place plate. You know, I could say where, or, and that's just sort of a rounded triangle. You would definitely want to stop this before you can imagine the brim of the hat. Mm-hmm. You know, so whatever is meaningful in your family, this is where you can really personalize and create a message to that special person that you're giving this to. And you can even come along here if you need to and define that. See how you can just really define that space? Create that. Unfortunately, the breathing apparatus did not have enough reflection for me to even really focus on. But we're going to just know it's there. Right? We're going to know it's there. Gonna add this around the face and a little bit at the nose, and this is gonna help define this profile a little bit. So we see that a little. Doesn't need to be everything. I'm gonna come and do a little bit at the legs. Right.
Oh, hold on. Make it over there.
Make sure that I got a little bit happening at the toes, just so that those read as really bare feet. See how just putting a small amount of this lighting just really helps this figure be just a little more than just a silhouette. It's a little bit more than silhouette painting. You know, a little more. I don't want to, and again, I don't want to outline like a cartoon here. I just want to outline the parts that are super important that I focus on, like the back of the heel here. Oh shoot! Which helps.
You keep jumping around on me, so I miss. I'm sorry about that, guys.
So I'm just coming down and a little bit around the back of the heel, and I'm going to do the back of the leg here.
Yeah.
Right, and then I'm going to put in the front fire. This is really fun for me. I hope you're having fun too.
Oh yeah.
Come in here. You can show the little crease there.
I'm just juggling a little bit here, so sorry.
So you got this now. You're kind of seeing how this is, right? We haven't outlined the whole thing like a cartoon. We're just putting some important information about positioning. All right, so now once we've got him in, her in, where they are, how we want them, back to my number 6 bright, and I'm going to come into my Cad Red and a little bit of my yellow here, and I'm going to start doing my warmer fire that's up front.
Ooh.
So that's going to be just on the edges. It's kind of like what I did before, but these are going to be shorter flames that are more focused here.
Mm-hmm.
As a focal front layer. So you can see how I'm just kind of making those curving, sweepy, flamey, you know, twists. It's got lots of personality. I'm tinting the yellow back with orange so I can even pull that forward with more yellow and white so that we really see that this is... I'm going to take some of these flames across his front.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to help me say that this fire is... he's in it. Right? I'm even going to come maybe... I did one where I really liked it where it was like back here across the knee a little bit. Fire came up. And then we had a little bit come up the foot. Just layering that up, right? Because he's in this fire. She's in this fire. That's where we are. Just this brave-hearted person. I'm going to take a little extra off over here. This part I really love doing because it's that pop of color that starts pulling it in. I'm going to rinse out the red. And now I'm going to start coming back and really working my yellow. Right? Adding that yellow heat.
Oh, yeah.
Pulling it up flames. Being very loose. Now that is just narrative and lyrical. Doesn't it pull that heat?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll do a little flame that kind of comes there. Woo! Have some fun with it. Don't go too crazy. No, just go as crazy as you want.
As brave as your firefighter is
This firefighter super brave?
There's a lot of fire.
It's a lot. Things have happened.
Yeah, this is not Monty Python peril.
No, this is peril. This is a real peril. Not mild peril. This is not Ice Age peril. I love it when my kids' movies are like, mild perceived peril. I'm thinking, if this is Disney, there's peril for the parents.
Wow, you know you did this. You pulled this right in under an hour. We're at 48 minutes. Look at you.
Are we?
Yeah.
Look at this. Now we're going to take just our white. I just took my white gesso. And we could take our titanium if we need another pop above this. I have it out just in case it's not going to read. We'll see how the gesso does here. Because if we don't have to pull into another material, we don't have to pull into another material, right? I'm keeping the white focused on these flames. You see how it's focused there? The white part is the hardest part of the flame.
Oh, and you get a little impasto-ness there.
Yeah, I'm having fun with it. It's very expressive.
Yes,
and I like it to be expressive. You could like it to be very tidy. It's your painting. So that's okay. Wherever you feel like you need it to be, you can see it's just, hey, I'm just painting here. Maybe some little bits of it happening there. All right. I think, guys, we painted our firefighter. It's time to sign.
It's time to sign.
So I like to find a little spot in my paintings that is sort of integrated, is part of the image and things. Oh, did we ever figure out a number?
I thought we were going to put hero in there.
We're going to put hero in there.
Hero.
All right. I'm going to write the word hero up in the... I don't know that I can write that small, so I might have to put H.
Oh, that seems reasonable. Let me zoom in.
I'm going to do H. H for hero.
For all the heroes. And that way everyone can put in their own...
You put in whatever is meaningful to you. I did H. This is our hero. This is the first of many heroes. Like girls, there's a series happening. More girls, more heroes. Stories that reflect the things in our lives that we love, that we're proud of, that we're going through. And now I'm going to take my black paint and I'm going to sign right here. Right here. Up in this flame. Just have fun signing. We might add a little white highlight to that signature, and then I'm good. You're good. How did you guys do?
I think everyone's having such a good time with this. They're really happy that you did this. And thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming here. You know, we really had a good time. We've been Sherpa pretty much this entire time.
And I think I need to go out dancing.
You're going to go out dancing a little bit?
I think I owe that, right? We got to celebrate because we did it. We did it. We painted a painting with a fireman and some fire, and we painted a painting. Oh, we did it. For those of you that have been from the game, you know the did it dance.
I've got the wrong music on for that. I've got all my... But we don't want that. We're going to go back down here, and then we're going to come back over, and we're going to go... And we're going to say thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us today. You know, we always like to dance and remind ourselves that our bodies are alive, and you got to get up and wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes and celebrate life with us. And don't forget to hug the firemen and firewomen and firefighters and first responders in your lives, because they put their lives on the line for you and I every day. And we can't thank them enough. So, you know, don't forget to pass on that love. And thank you for coming and hanging out with us. It's been really good. Don't you think so, Cinnamon?
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you to the heroes.
Thank you to the heroes, guys. We will see you again soon.